This used to be a parking lot.
It's very, very ordinary looking. There's just bumpy asphalt, there's a block wall. In fact, there's even barbed wire, the circled barbed wire that separate us from Rent-A-Wreck next door.
The us Doug Haverty is talking about is the Group Rep Theater. He is the artistic director, and after 16 months of shows on Zoom, audiences are back, but not back inside the theater.
You'll notice we're outdoors, so there are going to be a lot of fun sounds that are going to happen during the show. Airplanes going over, helicopters gathering behind us.
When the lights go down, you forget where you are. And it's very pleasant because you're out in fresh air, you can see the stars, you can see clouds. So when you're sitting there in the theater, it's actually very cool.
That feels good, Mr. Leonard. Really, really good. Thanks.
One of my favorite things about running a theater in this area is meeting the public. I come to the theater every night, and I just like to talk to the people who came, ask them where they're from, how they heard about the theater. And sometimes people start telling me stories.
The Group Rep Theater's story started 48 years ago in Hollywood in a converted laundromat, so a parking lot is right up their alley.
We were so active during the pandemic. We did virtual one-act festivals. I wrote a one-act. I directed one or two of them.
We don't have a corporate sponsor. No one is backing us. We don't get a lot of grants. It's completely member run. Everyone is a volunteer. And it was very hard for us to stay alive during the pandemic.
I get a little choked up about it because it was so important for all of us to survive, and working with them, it felt very good that I was able to help them to play my little part, and keeping them going. I'd say, we're not going down. You better believe we're going to be the last one standing in NoHo.
I've known Nancy Biancani from NoHo Arts District for probably about 10 years. She actually got a group of NoHo theaters together, and we created a GoFundMe account called Save Our NoHo Theaters. So we met on Zoom once a week, and it was kind of like a support group, therapy group, task force. Like, okay, what can we do to get through this?
And they're all still struggling to survive.
And these will serve as your tickets?
Trying to do theater shows in a pandemic, coming out of a pandemic, going back into a pandemic, is like painting on tissue paper on an ocean wave. It's really hard to plan anything.
At this theater under the stars, everyone's hoping the show will go on and maybe even go back indoors this fall. For Annenberg Media, I'm Dua Anjum.